Jennifer, what do you think, Lance?
City can't be a 501c3 because it violates the provisions of 501c3. Could be a committee that's formed that's apart from the city to be a 501c3 to do fundraising. The city can't be 501c3.
You can't.
And it would have to be independent from the city.
Okay, that's what I thought based on my research, but you never know what you get when you search Google, so, okay, great, thank you.
Sorry about that. Anyone else like to come to the board? Seeing none? Moving on. Regular minutes of May 7, 2024. Motion?
Make a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? All right, moving to executive session minutes for May 7, 2024. Motion? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion passed. Bills to be paid. Motion? Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Against? Crawford County 911, Brad.
Hello. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for putting me on the agenda. Hello to the council. I have a couple of things that I'd like to talk about. The first thing that I'm going to mention is that just a little bit of backstory. August of 2022, Crawford County 911 came to the citizens of Crawford and said, hey, we need our tax rate risen in order to do what we need to do. First of all, we need to keep employees. August of 2022, the citizens of Crawford County approved that tax. And 6 months later, we started collecting it. Next month in June will be year one of us getting the new tax rate. And I just wanted, you guys are going to be the first group, the first organization that I'm going to be talking to. I'm going to go to a lot of different organizations because I feel it's important. We ask you to trust us to be responsible with tax money, and this is what we did. We said we were going to do, and this is what we did with it, and what we are still doing with it. My dispatchers were getting paid $11.50 an hour. They are now getting $18. That's what we did with the money. We said we were going to do it, and that's what we did. We're getting out of debt, and we are moving on to new ideas in order to better 911 in Crawford County. And that leads me to the second point that I wanted to make tonight. My board of directors, I have a 7-member elected board of directors for Crawford 911, and they want to move on the idea, keep in mind this is an idea right now, of a new building. We are currently in a flood zone in Steelville, in the Steelville Telephone Building. In my 10 years there, I've sandbagged it twice. I can hit Yadkin Creek with a rock from our front door. So we are in the flood valley there. We're also not in a storm-proof building, and so it's just a metal office building is what we are. We've been there 30 years. August of this year will be the 30-year anniversary of Crawford County 911. So the board of directors would like to keep a facility within the center line of the county, meaning Cuba or Steelville. Just because we've been in Steelville for 30 years doesn't mean we have to stay there. They're just looking for the best possible option, which includes Cuba. And so the board would like me to ask if the city council, the city of Cuba, would be amenable to either donating or make available to purchase some property, some city of Cuba property to Crawford County 911 for a potential building. I'm not asking for a decision. I'm just asking for you guys to have it as a thought process and a discussion, because this is the beginning of a thought process for us. And so that's why I'm here. Mr. Copeland asked me to come and bring this all before you. I've already had a discussion with him. And so now I just lay it out in front of the council. This is the idea for our board of directors. We want to move forward within the next 4 to 5 years, somehow or another, get a storm-proof building for continuity of operations so that we'll never be down. We'll be able to withstand a tornado and a flood, which we currently cannot.
Do you have any certain property you're looking at?
We've looked at plat maps. We've looked at Steelville. There's just not a lot there that is near utilities and not in a flood zone. We've looked at Cuba. We see property north of town up by North Crawford Ambulance, that general area. those properties south of town, down by the water tower. Past that, we haven't looked at it into too much depth. We just wanted to kind of get a discussion going.
How much property do you think you need?
I think we would only need a couple of acres. I look at it as an area that North Crawford currently occupies as kind of a model area. It's not a very big area. It's a small building. We have 17 employees. We would need only 10 to 12 parking spaces at most. It's not a huge building at all. It would be single story. They do want the land to be sloped because the building would need to be half in ground, half out. So a flat level area, even if, on a hilltop, would not be ideal simply because there would need to be a lot of excavations.
Well, if it's board permission, I'd like for you to get with Doug and see if we have any property. Do you know of any, Doug? Or?
About 11 acres back behind the ambulance shed, I think we probably.
When you say behind it, like
North
north
of
of
this side.
This side.
South, excuse me.
Yeah.
But, there's 11 acres in there, and I would think that there's down to 2 acres that you could carve out of that pretty easily.
So we just wanted to bring that, I wanted to bring the idea after discussing it with the mayor, the idea to the city council.
Well, I'd like to talk to Doug about that later on, so we'll just go ahead and just table it for now and let y'all think about it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, the FY 2025 budget salaries. Salary committee recommendation.
I'd like to first start with the budget. Not a lot tonight needs to be decided other than, just kind of running through the budget this year. It was a little different than last year. Want to make sure that you all did receive a copy of the budget that looks like this. So you can follow along with me. So on page 2, I just wanted to let you know that's the table of contents for all the pages that we're discussing. Page 1. Page 2 through 7 is your budget message. It's required by state statute for me to include in your budget. And I'd like to briefly go over the budget message and what it includes. It includes the budget process, a recap of fiscal year 2024, a schedule of revenues and expenditures, and your CapEx spending for your fiscal year 2025. And at the very end, I'd just like to read the conclusion to you, so you get a kind of brief. The 2025 fiscal year budget is a good spending plan that places the city in a place to start building reserve balances in departments that need to have reserves. The programs outlined in the following pages of the budget document are obtainable and reasonable. I appreciate the work of all department heads, mayor, board of aldermen for their diligent efforts in the preparation of the budget. This is a very challenging effort, and we have a great team working to achieve this document. As you can see by the budget before you, many hours of thought and care were put into it, and it was respectfully submitted by myself. On page 8 and 9, you'll see the critical decisions is what I'm calling those. And we're going to get back to those because in the very beginning, those critical decisions need to be decided tonight and gone over. On page 10 through 14 is an overview of the budget, introduction to the city of Cuba. Just 10 through 14. And if I'm going too fast, just let me know. I'm just kind of got a brief overview of the budget. And it just kind of describes the city of Cuba. It has our principal officers of the city of Cuba, miscellaneous data. It has a organizational chart and the street map of the city of Cuba in there. Just basic guideline of the city of Cuba. On page 15 through 21, you'll note our basic fiscal policies. Just some brief outlines of how the city of Cuba finance department works, and how we put together our budget process. And on page 21, you'll see our budget fiscal calendar. This is all information that I don't expect you to go through tonight, but on your own you can go through. If you have any questions, you can ask me about them at a later date. On page 22 through 26 are your revenue predictions. And this is going to talk to you about the different types and major sources of revenue. In that, I provided you with many nice charts and graphs on the different types of revenue for you to kind of see the breakdown of those. On 27 through 30 is also your expenditures, predictions, and assumptions. And those also include many graphs and capital outlay comparisons to last year. 31 through 36 is our salary proposal for this year. Even though we're going to accept this in a different, we're going to approve this in a different motion tonight, I've also included it in our budget because it's a very big expenditure within the city. 37 through 38 is our fund summary, which is another requirement of the state statute that is required in your budget, is to include a fund summary and change the fund balance when it is required. And last but not least is our budget report and document that outlines every fund and every account number that we have. And then the total at the bottom. And then 58 through 59, and I'm sorry, the budget report's in Excel and I can't get those pages to number, so you just have to have those. 58 through 59 is our capital improvement schedule for this next year. And if there are anything on this that you don't feel that we should be spending capital improvement money on, as aldermen, you can let us know, we can remove those, but we would need to do that before budget is approved. So as I mentioned on page 8 and 9 were your critical decisions. I'd just like to go over those with you. The salary committee met and did recommend a 3.2% annual rate increase with steps for all employees but police officers. And for the police officers, they are recommending a $6,000 across the board rate increase for regular full-time officers. And so that critical decision would need to be approved tonight. If that was to change, that would be very critical in the budgetary process. A K-9 officer was not included in the budget because I feel as, when I'm going through some of these requests, I feel that a K-9 officer of $17,000 is something that you as a council should approve. So if that was to get put back in the budget, that would affect your budget. So I would need to know, do you all as a council want to add the K-9 program back into the city of Cuba? A skid steer for the water and the sewer department for $75,000. A new work truck for the water department at $65,000. Would the city like to purchase a newer used dump truck? Currently, I do have in your budget because we have previously spoken about a dump truck. I did put it in at $130, but I would like to know, does the city want a new price dump truck or would they like a used? That could affect numbers for them. The comprehensive plan was something that the state auditor did recommend that we go forward with. I've currently put in $40,000. I know Laney has some numbers. I think that was the low end of the number. Would you like me to put a higher number in? I just need some guidance on some of these numbers. I can put a big number in there, but it would totally affect your budget, and we would have to redo numbers. And do you want to move forward with that this fiscal year? If not, I can remove the $40,000. But again, it was still a recommendation by the state auditor's office. Contract extensions for Steve Black, Missy Mullally, and Travis Pritchett also affect your budget, and we need to know how we're going to carry forward with those. On Steve Black, are we approving him at the 3.2% in the contract extension? I just need to know that. I know we're extending his contract, but I don't know how we're going to pay part of it. The other two I just need to know, again, how we're doing, if we're extending the season, if we're gonna do the pay for it, and Travis purchase as well. The treatment plant operator pay is included in this draft document, and that needs to be approved by the council tonight. That was another thing that was decided in the, salary committee meeting, that be paid, that be made a salary grade 25. The job description would need to be approved by their committee. We would just need to approve the grade at this time to be able to pay him and get that budget. Your pay for the EOC is listed in the budget currently at the previous rate of $7,200. If you would want to change that, that would affect your budget, and I would need, these are things that I would need to know in order to change it for the next meeting. And then, the electric department had wanted a reclosure the last time that we talked, but it wasn't currently added into this budget due to, I haven't been given the cost of the reclosure. So, those things I kind of need to know tonight, or to move forward with any changes. I also want to point out some assumptions in the budget. A 3.2% annual rate increase per person is also put in there. The 3% loggers increase is published by the Missouri Loggers. The new rate doesn't come in until 6/1. So hopefully by the time that you get your next draft, I will have a new loggers rate. We are also waiting for new rates for our supplemental insurance as well. And we did all of our general expenses at a 4.1% inflation rate. So, I'm just waiting.
So where do you want to start? Is that your
Where would you like to start? Yes. Before we go on to the rest of the salary committee recommendations that weren't mentioned in here.
K-9.
K-9, let's go start there.
So start there, start somewhere.
Wherever you would like to start. Number one is the pay rate, so we can start there, you can go to the K-9 officer, it doesn't
It
matter.
don't matter where we start, where do y'all want to start at?
For my purposes, to start at the top of the list. It's easier to get.
The Amber rate increase? That's, I don't have a problem with that.
Jennifer,
What this board does.
you've given us using the 3.2 and using the 4.1, correct? I mean, we have both of those.
Yeah, you were given some spreadsheets with the 3 point, the difference, and obviously the 4.1 is more expensive by like 1%, obviously. Salary committee approved it, so I didn't go any further with the whole 4.1.
Okay, and both of these already have the $6,000 for the police officers.
The inflation did not, because, after, the first salary committee met, I didn't carry forward with the inflation rate. So, and then I asked the second salary committee what they would like, if they were going to approve it. Had they carried forward with the inflation, then I would agree that the inflation rate one, but no.
What's the feasibility of giving all full-time employees $6,000?
At this time, it's possibly it's doable with the, amount of retainage that we have at this time. We would have to borrow in a couple departments from reserves, but you could possibly do it.
Everybody's getting a step increase and a cost of living, right?
At 3.2%.
And what's the step?
On your, sheet that looks, the set of sheets that look like this, depending on what step that you're in, would be, and what like salary rate that you're in, would determine what step that you would, what pay rate you would get for that. So, the first thing that we would need to approve would be the $1.50 steps, because last year those weren't added in. So we need to approve this pay scale, and then approve the 3.2% pay scale. They both need to be approved. So that the steps from the $1.50 to rate can be approved, that the people get their steps off of.
So you said everybody gets a step. Does everybody actually get a step? Like, because on this one page it says max of 12 plus years, we have a lot of people.
Everybody but the
People.
12 years gets steps.
Okay, up to 12 or beyond 12?
Up to 12.
So that's what I'm asking, I guess I didn't say that very well. So the employees that we have that go beyond 12.
They
or
get the
they-
annual rate increase of 3.2%, unless they're a police officer at 12 years, and they would get the $6,000, because they did not get COLA. Their COLA was the 6,000, that was voted in the salary committee meeting.
But when we do across the board raises, and we've done that before, like $1.50 an hour or whatever. Do the people with 12 years, then do they get that too? I mean, we do straight across.
Yes, they do.
I have a hard time justifying giving one department $6,000 and not the rest of them.
What happened, yeah.
I said I have a problem giving one department, I don't care what department it is, a lump sum of $6,000, and the rest of them don't get $6,000.
Well, it depends on the department. The police department is different than any other department, like the electric department is different than the department. Well,
Okay,
we're giving $6,000 for the police department as a plan for the future. We, planned that, we raise the rates up, even the starting salary. I'm thinking that should be good for 3 to 5 years for the rate, starting pay. I see a plan for the future that I don't believe a police officer's gonna leave. I believe that's a good step. We may be a little higher than other towns. The other towns are going to have to raise it sooner or later. And we're already there, and we know we can improve it. Our budget, because she had it in the budget, and I'd rather do this. I'd rather give $6,000 police officer and hire a work director. We're fixing a lot of problems. The starting pay at the police department, a plan for the future, keep our police officers, we're not going anywhere. Or we can, like everybody says, well, we got to cut back, we got the money. Yet we want to hire a work director. I see that money in there for a work director. When I saw that money in there, I realized this could fix some problems. That money can be used for where it needs to be used. And this is why that department proposed a plan for the future. We don't think we're going to have to raise starting salary. I think that we're right with the rest of the police officers where we need to be, and we have to put a plan together somewhere, so we start the police department. What would you rather do? Pay $80,000 for a work director, that we have supervisor that does the job, good job, they don't need to be,
I'm not sure why that's part of the conversation, we're not talking about public works, we're talking about.
That's fine, I'm just saying how we can afford it, Debbie, how we can afford it. So it had to be how we can afford it. Since it's in the budget, that's what we decided to fix the problem that we have now. Look at the future later. That's what my dad always taught me. You got a problem, fix it. We have a problem, police department. We can't even get a police officer.
Neither can anyone else.
So, I have no problem, police department.
I don't have a problem with it as long as everybody else gets the same $6,000.
Well, but they were kind of low in pay, especially starting, whereas a bunch of our other departments were not low in their pay. So that's why they were gonna do it, to bring them up, because they are low. That's why they're having trouble getting officers.
I don't buy into that, but you're free to your opinion, but I have most towns around here are not getting officers either, they're just scarcity.
But I did call and get some wages, and they were paying more than.
Okay, that's great, I'm not arguing with what you're
Let the board decide, we can all vote on it later on.
That's right, but I would recommend everybody gets 6,000, or cut it back down to 5, and everybody gets 5,000. But I think whatever one department gets, it's only fair for the rest of them to get it as well. My opinion.
Are we done discussing it? We're going on to K-9 now.
You're not just.
I've got a decision, yes.
Well, I can bring it to the board, let the board make the decision.
What's the 3.2 equate out for all these?
I can hear.
I said, what's the 3.2 equate out for everybody?
Jennifer have to explain that one.
You have the figures there in front of you as the 3.2, with the 6,000. The salary alone, with the 6,000 for the police officers is 2.5, or $2,598,298. If you add in the wages and the benefits, it's $3,801,313.
And that's going with your plan of 3.2 plus steps for all public works employees, and the $6,000 flat rate for the police department, all full-time police
My motion.
And that was with the steps also, right?
All right, so we have a motion.
Somebody wasn't there, I was trying to explain it to him.
I'll second.
That's second. Roll call.
Now that.
So we can do the salaries tonight and look, take this other stuff home and study it. You know
Well,
what
I
I'm
kinda
saying?
need to know the critical decisions tonight, because come the first meeting in June, I would need to change anything on here that would affect the budget and bring you back to another draft tomorrow, or the next meeting, the first meeting in June. Because you'll need to see the changes in the first meeting in June.
Can we have discussion? We have a first and a second, right?
Yes, sir.
So, and this is just for me, Jeff, explain to me, you said we're just a few dollars off of being at 46,000, which is where they want to start, right? Is that what you mean? Okay, I'm good with that. I understand that. I don't understand why starting pay requires everybody to get $6,000 in the police department. If they're only a few dollars off, and we're going to bring them up that few dollars, why wouldn't we bring everybody else up that few dollars?
I'm gonna say this with the kindness of hearts, I don't agree with it, with bringing everybody up, because the rest of the positions were already moved forward, the P1 position was not. So, I will do what you as a council want me to do, because that is required of my job, but if you're asking me to explain the 6,000 and moving the rest of the positions forward like that, I can't, because I don't understand it myself.
I'm telling you, it's a plan for the future. We're gonna keep our police officers. I looked at it hard and long. Doug can't even get one. So yes, we can pay a little more down, but in the long run, we're not gonna be. The other ones are gonna raise, we ain't gonna get no police officer. You can't put a price on safety or help people. So I'm good with this 6,000. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
We had
You got a second? I think we're on.
That's,
Yes.
Are we voting on the 3.2 or the 6,000?
Vote
The
no.
motion was done for both.
Okay, what you guys agreed on. Harold?
Yes.
I mean, it's a tough one, cause yeah, I don't see the 6,000 across the board, definitely. Apparently you're paying for it because you don't think we need a public works director, and I don't agree with that. You talk about the future for the city. The public works director is also the building enforcement, code enforcement, which this city is highly lacking. And that's future of our city right there.
So we know it's not a public director.
Well, now we have all the money out of the budget to make this new amendment.
We still should have money in budget. It's only running up 48,000 more. We had like 60, about 8,000 in 2 years. But, you know, I respect your opinion. I mean, you know.
I'll give it a yes, so.
Martin,
No.
Marcel.
Yes.
All right. Since it passes, are we moving on to anything else? Do you want to wait and let us look through this and bring it back?
No, I would need to know the rest of the stuff on the list real quick, K-9 officer.
I want to talk about that too. Doug, on the K-9 officer, you called me about that.
Yes.
Any reasons for wanting the K-9 officer?
Okay, we have a canine officer.
I know we have the officer, but that
We have-
officer actually an officer together.
I should say handler, then, yeah, we have the canine handler, we have the canine vehicle, the cage, all the equipment. He has the equipment at the house and everything, to house the animal. Now, we did have to retire the other one, you know about that, retirement of the other dog and stuff like that. To continue the program, because, the vehicle that we have is still under grant. And we got with, 5 years old, well, 4 years now? 4 years, I believe, so we still got some time on it. To keep it in use, but we have to get another single-purpose dog, which would be a dog, it's not a bite dog or anything, it's just going after the illegal drugs, is all it's trying to, detect. So the price of the K-9, if the board wishes to keep the K-9 program within the city moving forward, then, the price of the K-9 itself and the training for it, and the officer's training with that dog is roughly $17.
And what will this dog be used for? What's it?
Any call outs for, the detection of drugs and understand if we do, we're gonna try to get a dog that's more community oriented to be able to be out in public with that handler without doing so. Last one's pretty happy.
It's gonna be an asset.
I think so.
I have a question for Lance on that. So, rumor has it, and I don't know, because I don't work with this guy. Are these, when you, this canine locates someone with drugs, how prosecutable is that?
When I was the prosecutor's office, we made an awful lot of convictions with those.
Okay, because what I'm hearing is that the dogs have the difficult describing or recognizing one drug from another, will they know that, so that when you take this person to court, you know what drug the dog hit on?
There have been some changes. Obviously, the Constitution was amended to allow marijuana to be legalized, both as medicinal and recreational. At that point, most of the dogs that were in service pretty much had to be retired because they were trained, because marijuana had previously been a legal item. And the dog doesn't tell you what kind of drug it is, it just indicates when the presence of illegal narcotics. The dogs that are being trained now are not being trained for use of marijuana because, at least in this state, it is a legal substance. So, once you get a new dog that has been trained, all they're gonna do is recognize those substances that it was trained to search for. So, as soon as you have a newly trained dog that is not trained that marijuana is legal, you'll be back to the previous status, and those cases are eminently proven.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to, put the 17,000 into the budget for the purchase of canine and the training.
Got a first, got a second?
Second.
Second. Any more discussion on this? Will we do a roll call?
We got a first and second, now the time for
Okay.
discussion.
Marcel? Yes. Martin?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Bass?
Yes.
Okay, Kansas, next.
Skid steer for the water and sewer department at $75,000.
Okay. That one I'm on the fence with, because we have a skid steer, and I know everybody's not using that at the same time. So, that's not my department, so that's just my opinion on it.
So you're on the street department committee?
This is
Okay,
this
I'll
is
leave it.
water and sewer.
Okay,
But I just said my opinion on, I'm on the fence with it because we have a skid steer. And I know that all the departments aren't using that one skid steer at all times, so I don't see any reason to have two, but that's not I'm not on that committee, so. You on the water and sewer committee?
I know nothing about skid steer right now.
we do have one, I know.
Yeah.
Can we look at all three of those next items together, because they all basically have to do with the water and sewer?
They need a dump truck,
Okay, so,
100%.
so if we're set, we needed a dump truck, we haven't decided any were used yet, but that can be done. So, do they need to choose between a work truck and a skid steer, perhaps?
What's the purpose of the new work truck, Lynn?
Truck we got it's the 81, it's time to upgrade the truck. And we got more and more equipment that we need to keep out of the rain. Truck we got now is the same way. It's the only time that very good. Do that truck.
So you want a new truck, and then you're gonna push your other one up for bid?
We'll use that for a secondary truck, because our secondary truck has a camera truck and stuff, has a camera and receiver, it's a dual purpose truck. So we'll
You
probably
getting a utility bed like AJ has?
we'll get, yeah, we want the new truck to have a building.
How many miles does your current truck have on it?
I think 60,000.
60,000, and you're saying it's wore out?
I'm not saying it's worn out, I'm saying it's time to upgrade, it's time, It's an old truck that I can't remember the date right off the top of my head. But we definitely need more room, that's the main issue. As far as the skid steer goes, it's nice to have, when you're thinking about the whole bigger skid steer, that we clean up these jobs and stuff we're doing, there again. We've got one, but it seems like, you know, throughout the year, it's nice, it would be nice to have two. We don't have any equipment there at the shop to unload freight, so that, you know, if we have a skid steer at the shop, we're gonna unload freight. If it's gone, then we have to, you know, go get the skid steer or try to figure out something to unload freight.
Do they make forklift forks for backhoes? Goes on the bucket?
They do, if we had a quick connect stuff, yeah. None of our backers have that. We have a skid loader, seems like, out on the field, you know, that's an older skid loader, it does have forks for it, and it's operating. But again, that's not my department, that's the street department, so, you know, on that.
So what I'm looking at, you're looking at three pieces of equipment, a skid steer, a dump truck, and a service truck, correct? We couldn't just get one this year and put it in budget next year for one, so next year for one. Would that work for you? I have a plan, 3-5 year plan to get one here, one here, one here. This way if something happens, you need more money, we have it to do lines and stuff. See what I'm saying?
If he's gonna lose one, which one would you rather lose? The truck or the skid steer?
Yeah, that's a tough question. Do we have to decide that tonight? Is that something, now that we know we get one out of three, you know, we put it in the budget, you know, because that's what we needed, but.
But you definitely, I mean, you seriously need a dump truck, right? That's
Yes,
what
they
I've
need a
heard
dump truck.
anyway.
The personal issue I have with the dump truck is the street guys have always given us a dump truck whenever we needed one, so we never ever had that in the budget, water or sewer.
So you don't actually have your own dump truck?
They give us,
Nobody has their own.
they give us a dump truck, an old dump truck that, and they helped us do work on it, our mechanics done work on it. The new mechanic we have now has done work on it, you know, it's an older dump truck, it needs to be retired. It's been retired full time.
Well, so that's my question. The dump truck is the more
Yes, they have
critical
a
of
dump
the
truck.
equipment,
Yes.
right?
They needed that last year, but they took that out and got the back.
How do you feel about a used dump truck?
Used dump truck's fine, but the reason why we put a new one in there is because, you know, you can get, I've been told by the state, one of the state guys, it takes 2 years to get a dump truck, once you order it. I don't know if that's still true now, but that's what I've been told. So it's hard to go buy, you know, a used dump truck, if you don't put the right amount on it, then we miss a good deal. You know, when our mechanic finds one, or when we find one.
But if you really need one, you may be waiting 2 years to get a new one.
So that's why we put a new dump truck in the budget, so if we find a new used one, or a good used dump truck, then we can buy it.
Can we just agree X amount of dollars to budget, and then
So you can put a used, whatever you want for a used price in there, and if you find a used one and it's over that amount, that's what we have a budget revision for process. So it's not saying, well, you guys asked me to do the budget, I'm gonna have to tell you, well, we budgeted this amount and can we still afford it? That's when I have to come in and say, look at the financing and say yes or no. It's still a plausible thing to revise your budget if the amount comes in higher or lower. Am I gonna be able to sit here today and tell you whatever X amount of dollars it is, if it's over this amount, can we afford it? I don't know what your finances are gonna be down the road from there, but it's a plausible thing to revise the budget if it happens to be to find one at X dollars and it's higher than what we can put in the budget.
I suggest that we budget for the new dump truck, and if you can find a good one for less, and that we save these other 2 items for our happy day.
I agree with that.
Okay with that?
I think that was the plan, wasn't it? Is this what you had in mind?
That's right, that's fine, that way, if we find a good used dump truck, we would buy it.
Save the money.
And then, if we can't find a good used dump truck, we can find out how much the new one costs and how long they have to wait. Maybe it might work out, because we gotta use one that's working now. You know, it's not, like you said, it needs to be replaced, but
So we're going with the dump truck and we're deleting the skid steer and the work truck for the time being?
Yeah, and they're not currently in the budget,
I
so.
make a motion that we keep the cost of the new dump truck in with the stipulation they look for a used one first. And that's a motion on that piece of equipment.
We have a second?
With that, Tony?
I'll second that.
Hold on. On roll call, please vote.
Marcel? Yes. Martin?
Yes.
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Bass?
Yes. Now on the skid steer and the work truck.
Hey, we're gonna do a vet back now, but they got a dump truck, they only need one, when he said.
No, that was different. That's all they can get is one?
That's what you
Yeah,
all
I'm only
agree
one
on.
this year.
That's what you all agree on.
We're gonna table the new work truck. Do we need to make a motion for that? Or just?
No.
We don't have motion table, do we? No.
Okay.
You'll approve the entire budget all.
Yeah, I'm just here to figure out what you wanna put in here, so I can review it for you. The comprehensive plan is currently budgeted at 40,000. Do you wanna leave that at 40,000, or do you wanna put it in for a higher amount?
What numbers does Laney discover? Can you recall or
It can start at 40, and it can end at 180 to 200,000. Now, and it depends on what kind of thing you want, there's a lot to it.
And do you wanna move forward is the key this fiscal year? Do you wanna move forward with it, or,
Yes, gotta move forward, the state says we got to.
hey,
how long
Yeah.
since we've had one? Anybody know?
Been a very long time.
Got it every one time?
We put 40,000 in there, leave it, if we have to amend the budget a little more, we can do it.
okay, I will leave that alone then.
Okay.
What do you want, what am I supposed to do with the contracts on, is Steve Black going to get the same contract that he had before, so I know that raises like 3.2% on the price? I haven't just completed that far yet, I don't know where we're at with that discussion.
Well, that was in his contract, we approved his contract, that he got that, we approved his contract, so I guess he gets it. You know, if it's in your contract, it says, no, and it was in his contract.
I don't know what was the extension, I haven't seen it.
We only extended it to the date, nothing was
Okay.
changed in the contract.
So about the other two, do you know what you wanna do with those two?
Well, Ms. Mullally entered the contract, have we accepted that yet?
Haven't seen
If so, then
Never
she should end the same way.
It was not mentioned to go out for bid as of right now.
No, never did mention go out for bids, it's good to go out for bids. What do you think, Lance, Lance, you go out for bids, or can we pass this contract?
For the animal in the airport.
I have not looked at either of those, I have no idea what they currently say as we sit here at the moment. If you haven't gone out for bid, I think you're supposed to be going out for bid for all contract positions. The audit had a specific number in there.
every year, wasn't it?
Doesn't have to go out every year.
Maybe two, probably, in America.
Or whatever, so we had.
Those are 3 to 5.
That's what my recollection was, they wanted you to go out every 3 to 5 years for bid.
Well, my contract was the same as Steve Black's with 3.2% that wasn't approved.
But see, we accepted Steve Black's, and we didn't do the other two.
We didn't accept it, we just extended
The only
it.
thing that you did
We
was
didn't accept it, we extended it.
Yeah, we extended it.
Yeah.
and it was extended for 6 months,
Yeah.
what the board
Right.
wanted to do.
So I guess my question is, these people, you see in the airport, they currently have a contract that didn't actually have a termination, it's renewed annually with a 90-day notice on either part. So are you saying that we giving them a 90-day notice and we're putting that in the paper to seek new, or to seek bids for that
All I'm
position?
telling you
I don't
is,
understand.
I don't know what's in those contracts as I sit here. If you want me to look at those contracts, I'm not familiar with the terms off the top of my head. We're supposed to be going out for all of our contract positions every 3 to 5 years, according to the last audit. I thought that that's what we were going to do, but I don't know how long those contracts have been in place.
Well, one of the-
Travis Bridget never had a contract renewal in quite some time. I know that we probably, that one doesn't have to be done tonight, I
Yeah.
just wanted to bring that one to your attention, that it will affect your budget if contracts are changed, so,
I have a question, and I'm not sure if I can ask this, but I'm going to, you can tell me to shut up if you want to. Why haven't we not made these positions part-time positions in the city, where we don't have to do the contract thing every year? Can I ask that?
You can ask that, but it's not a question I can answer, it's a question for the board to answer.
Okay.
Because, again, when those contracts were started, I'm not sure that I was here for the airport, but I have been here for a position like Steve Black's and also Ms. Lolly's. In both instances, the board specifically had asked me to draft contracts for those positions to be contract positions.
And
That was
part-time, I
a
would
board
say,
decision.
when you ask why can we make them part-time, it's because they're not working part-time. I mean, I think that both of those positions are on call. I know that, like Sunday, Travis drove from St. James, where he lives, I don't know, down here because somebody couldn't operate the gas pump at the airport.
Well, Travis is different than Missy's, you're there every day, aren't you?
But he's there every day too, except
Huh?
Saturday and Sunday, he's there every day
Yeah.
too. So we're talking about, we're not talking about part-time employees at what, every 2 hours, is that right?
well, I think it's so much longer, than 1,500 hours a year.
How many hours you putting in, Missy?
Well, at least 40 at the shelter, probably about 40. But my contract, that you guys approved, June 2021 was the one that had the 3.2% that the city raised. I mean, I wasn't asked to put another,
I don't think the question is, are you gonna get it? The problem is that we haven't received your contract, we haven't went out for bids yet. So in order for us to approve that, you have to submit the bid, we have to accept it. We have to figure out if you're gonna get 3.2% on it, that's what we got to
I
figure
think,
out, right?
I kept asking and asking if I should present it again, so I just finally told Jennifer, and I think I said to Randy too, presented it as is. To, I'm not gonna change it, I don't, wanna try to do more or anything, I was happy with whatever the city got. If you want me to reword it differently, I can, because, someone said, well, you're not a city employee. So, in that case, I could reword it, and then submit it if that's what you want, but, I don't know, whatever you want.
I guess what I can do is send you over the contracts tomorrow, or not tomorrow, not tomorrow, but Thursday. And we can go over like.
Here's my issue, you say we have to go out for bid, so what does that clarify that for us? I mean, in my mind, I'm thinking we have to go out for bid, and anybody's,
In the paper, there were.
So he said 3 to 5, and she just said 21, so she's only coming up into her 4th year. So we're not like in a mission critical state right now. We can let this contract carry for another budget plan and just give it 3.2.
And realistically, my suggestion is that you start going out for bids in April like we did with the legal contract. There's a reason why we did it that way. Because if there's going to be a change, you want that to be able to be done, so that A, gives you time to get everything together, and B, coincides kind of with your fiscal year. If you go out for contracts in April, or award the contracts in May, that gives everybody time to get things ready for the budget, to get the budget ready.
And I mentioned how Travis had I don't remember when his last rate increase was, but it has been quite some time on the airport, so, we talked about it last year, it was, voted down, so I bring it up again, because it would affect budget if there was a rate increase, this is the time. He is a contracted employee, so that's why I was asking about, why those two contracted employees supposed to be with the pay.
well, it started in 2005, well, it started before that, but in 2016, he was paid $2,000 a month. He is now paid $2,083 a month, and that's 9 years. Probably would be due something in 9 years over $83.
So we can, that one definitely, I can fix everything committee did meet on the treatment plant operator pay and recommended that they, make that a salary grade 25. In order to be able to post it, they would need to approve, the job description, would need to be approved. I'm not sure if that's been approved in committee or not. At this time, in order to be able to move forward with the budget, we would just need to approve the, salary committee recommendation of salary grade 25.
I make a motion to start at level 25.
A second?
I said that.
You the roll call, I like roll calls.
I have a question on that.
Good.
Are you saying start at 25 when he goes out and trains for 6 months, or when he takes complete ownership of it?
He'll be doing the work, so because he's moving out there, he'll be out there full time during that training.
True, but he's training under an individual.
And he still has the license to do it, so. But he still.
Truck driver has a CDL license, but while he's training the whole field, he don't get his top fuel hauler pay. So,
My motion is to move him out there at the level 25.
You need 6 months out there.
And we'll pay at 25 the day he moves out there. That's my motion.
And Steve leaving like 6 months, right?
Yep, he's leaving in 6 months.
We have a second?
Yes.
And roll call.
Bass,
Yes.
Albert,
Yes.
Hudson,
no.
Martin,
No,
Marcel.
Yes.
Alright, passes. Got anything else, Jennifer?
Two more, and we have a couple recommendations that I haven't talked about. The EOC pay, do you wanna leave it at 7,200?
I make motion to leave it at 7,200 plus taxes.
You motion to 7,200? Second?
I'll second.
Alright, second, do the roll call.
Well, have we even put out asking for that job yet?
Yes.
And that's the amount of money we're gonna pay a year?
We don't know yet, it's a bid, so we don't know what they're submitting.
Okay.
If anything else, if we don't get anything, we can always redo the budget and, you know what I'm saying?
So if we get somebody, we can pay the higher.
Know what I mean? Shouldn't even set a amount. But now they know, we have to do 500, now we can set 1,000. You know what I mean? I don't think we should have even mentioned that, since it's out for bids.
By then, back around, no. This is cheap.
It would be a public record anyway, doesn't matter.
Okay. So, we'll see.
You won't give me a price because it doesn't have a phone, so it won't give me a price.
Okay.
Do we vote on
Okay,
it?
vote for that.
There's a motion and a second on the floor.
Marcel,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Albert.
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
So fast. One more?
The last thing with the reclosure, I just briefly talked to Amy and he does not have a price yet, so, we're gonna have to hold that one off. Hopefully till the next meeting,
You won't give me a price.
we're gonna need some.
Because it has to be sent in, and then there's like a month wait on when it gets sent in, and you can't tell me a price until he looks at it. And once he looks at it, then we're pretty much off, a lot. Okay.
So we might need an estimate.
I
Yes.
tried.
Best estimate to put in there.
I said,
something.
just throw me something out there, and he says, I can't tell you
Yeah.
yes or no, either it might be a simple fix, or it might be a whole new reclosure. There's, it could be $10,000, $5,000, or it could be a $50,000 reclosure. So,
We might estimate on that side.
Is that a capital improvements thing?
It won't be CapEx spending, but it will be on their CapEx spending, so I'll get with them on Thursday. The last thing are a couple items on the salary committee recommendations. The apprentice lineman schedule and pay. The committee, made a recommendation to come up with a apprentice lineman schedule. I did come in on Sunday and try to work on all of the recommendations. This was my top one. Before I ask you to make this recommendation, I would like to recommend this as a merit instead of a change in schedule due to recreating the wheel. It would still be giving the apprentice linemen, their pay for certificates, which is what we discussed in the meeting. But we would not have to physically change the actual, pay schedule for apprentices. We could leave it alone, and just when they get their certificate pay, we can give them whatever you all, I believe we talked in the meeting as $1.50 an hour. We could pay them that, and all the supervisor would have to do is say, I have an apprentice that's passed test 1, apprenticeship, or test 2 or 3, and, I would like to have him approved for, merit increase due to him passing a certificate for lineman.
Does that sound all right, Andy?
Yes, as long, can we make that, in January?
Well-
This final test is in December.
Yeah, so like I said, whenever you
January.
get I just use the word apprentice at this time, whenever you have an apprentice that passes a test, you would come to the committee or the board and ask for the merit to be approved because you have one that has passed the test. And you would need to bring the documentation because that's what it says in the merit pay portion of the ordinance.
Yes, and also, when he gets his raise in January, when it comes in July for raises, the board approves the cost of living raise, that's all he gets. You haven't given another step, or anything like that, just cost of living. So, that's another thing I want to point out. So yes, I'm okay with that. And if you're not comfortable, if you want to look at some literature from the NQA that sent me, just a quick sheet on other towns that do that. It's a pretty normal common practice for line workers. It's very, for current line, it's very common.
But the merit style doing it works easier for us than trying to come up with a schedule that's different from everybody. So we would actually have to separate that apprentice lineman out from the rest of the employees.
It also makes it almost automatic. They told you he's passed, that way you don't have to do a lot of thinking.
That works.
Well, I will make that motion to do it as and I can make that. I've spent a lot of time on the phone.
I didn't say anything.
It's about policy, and yes, I'll make the motion to do it that way with Jennifer's recommendation to do it as a merit.
And I second that motion.
So has the person in question received any certificate?
No, this is not,
So
this
this
is
year
not
we're
what's
gonna
in question,
approve.
let's get
My
that out.
question was
This
whether
is
or not.
apprentices in general.
Okay.
Okay,
So
but
really
if you're
it's
asking
an
if
issue.
there's a person that works underneath me that has already into a second year, if that's a separate deal, then yes, he is in his second year.
So he would already be on the merit.
And he already carried
He's got a certificate for a second year, yes.
And he got the merit raise for that.
Has he got it yet? No, he's just giving a step right now. No, he has not got any merit.
So we're not doing retroactive stuff here.
No, I'm not asking for retroactive, just something that.
Basically, what we're talking about with the merit raise is it is automatic and it is independent of everything else.
So the motion is to approve a merit raise once a certificate is received? Is that your motion? I'm asking you.
Yes, the supervisor would bring it to council and ask for permission to approve the merit raise.
So are we only talking, this is another question, are we only talking electrical department?
Yeah,
Because
apprentice
I mean,
line.
I know a lot of these guys probably go someplace and come back with a certificate, I've done it every.
Electric is different from everyone.
Okay, so we
Unfortunately,
need
it
to
is.
specify the electric department.
Actually, you don't have to specify the electric department because lineman is a very specific position.
Okay, I just wanna make sure that we're not doing it for every weekend workshop that you go to and bring back a piece of paper.
The reason why,
We do that.
Huh?
We do that. When water and sewer gets a certificate, they get it.
It's a separate conversation.
My
The
question.
apprentice lineman program is very specific.
Okay.
And we have.
they have
a
specific
second, so-
footwork they have to do at home too. This is not just on document, they have to do at home work too.
Okay, I'm okay. I just want to say, I'm clarified what we're talking about.
We have a motion, we have a second.
We have a second.
You roll call.
Salary Committee did recommend to remove the projects coordinator from the budget. I don't know if there needs to be an approval for that, or we just move on.
I didn't hear what you said.
They're approved to remove the project coordinator from the budget. I think that's just our thing, we need to motion on that.
Remove
Recommendation.
The project coordinator from the budget.
Yes.
Do you wanna-
I think if, again, you can approve the entire budget all at once, but if you're looking to do it specifically for your purpose,
No, I'm just
of trying to
mentioning it.
figure out,
It's already been removed on my end.
then I don't think, you don't have to have a motion for that.
Okay, the other thing is the summer help pay will start immediately, not July first, but they did approve to pay the full manager $15.45 an hour, head lifeguard $13.39 an hour, first year lifeguards $12.30 an hour, second year lifeguards $12.55, first year summer help $12.30, and second year summer help $12.55. And this we would need, something, on tonight, so because we're gonna be paying these people, on the next pay period, some of these, so, that would be important to get done tonight.
You need that in a motion?
Yeah.
That was given the second year was the quarter.
Yeah, we did as much to do the quarter per hour, because it's the minimum wage went up to $12.30. So that's,
What do you got here?
So you said the first year lifeguard is $13.39.
no, that's head
That's a
lifeguard.
head lifeguard.
Okay.
And
And what's the other, what's the first year lifeguard?
$12.30, which is minimum wage.
So it's all the same.
You got any return?
Yes.
They get a quarter.
Right.
And then what about the third and fourth years?
I don't think we have any.
We
So-
do.
Quarter here.
So I would say, last year there was a big jump, so this is just moving forward from last year.
I was just saying one at a time, because we have more people talking, and I can't figure out where it's coming from.
I'll shut up.
Do we have a motion, Jeff?
Yes, I made
Do I have a second?
Second.
Commissioner Bass and Moran. Okay. Hertzell,
Yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Calvert,
Yes.
Bass.
Moving on to the next one. Okay. Jennifer, anything else?
Just the merit raise for Mary Berkner, which was $1 an hour.
So, do we have documentation for that somewhere?
And the supervisor is supposed to provide documentation, that was part of the motion that will start July first, I believe was correct. Correct me if I'm wrong, that was.
Yeah, I think we're out there.
For the street department.
Street department, Jeremy Berkner.
I'd like to hold off on that until we can see the documentation. I mean, we're issuing a raise to someone based on their merit, but we don't know what that merit is, so we probably need to know why we're giving them merit pay.
Well, again, you're gonna approve the entire budget all at one time. If you said that it's based on documentation, the documentation does not show up. You deal with it
Okay.
at the same time. as the budget.
So, give them
Motion
the
to leave it
documentation.
What are we doing merit for, when did we start doing this?
It's been in the budget quite a while, it's been adjusted quite a while.
Using the policy.
Oh, so this is first, not for after 15 years.
You've been to how many meetings?
Merit was first time I heard of it.
I've never heard of it either, and I've been to several. I mean, I know it's
I've never
there.
heard of merit, that's what I'm asking, when did we start it? But if it's been a policy,
So Jerry, you need to start keeping notes of what your employees are doing wonderful, and put them in a file and bring it to us, and I think they deserve merit pay.
Exactly.
You know,
okay.
that could be, I don't like the idea necessarily, but
That's all departments then?
Yes.
All departments?
Yes.
Okay.
review and evaluation.
Make a second, a
First,
first,
maybe first.
we got a second,
Second.
second. Do the call.
I'm sorry,
Bass.
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Hudson,
No.
Martin,
No.
Hertzell,
Yes.
Jennifer.
You're welcome, thank you.
Now we're gonna move back here. We're at Park and Recreation recommendation. Is there any? Park board?
Yes, I have them. Sorry, do you have them? I have the recommendations. Do you want to bring up here?
Park and Rec Committee recommendations. Hood Park. There is a donor that is asking to put an addition on the arena to extend the roof for more shade. It is in the highlighted area in the picture. I know you all like that. They will pay the entire cost, and the work will be done by the same party that is doing the addition on the land goat barn that has previously been approved. They are requesting approval for the project. And it's just basically, I seen the picture, I think Debbie's seen it.
And they're paying it off.
They're painting all just a small cover area. I think it's Gary 30 by 20 or something.
30 by 60.
30 by 60, so.
I make a motion to let them do it.
I don't remember what the old one was. I think we're paying for it.
Yeah, I don't know that this addition needs electric. They said it's literally just for shade.
Yeah.
So it's just like the overhang for shade.
I'll second it.
I can do a call.
Marcel?
Yes.
Martin? Yes. Hudson?
Yes.
Howard? Bass?
Yes.
It's been approved, we'll move on.
Discussion was made regarding an application from Madison Harst for concessions at the pool. That was overlooked and not previously presented to the park board for consideration. This individual's previously worked at the pool and was not Madison's blunder. Thus, a motion was made to recommend to the council to hire for her concessions.
She put her application in, I think she got the same from her sister. She's worked there previously, she should have been hired. And they did make a recommendation to hire
I'll motion.
Second.
Do a call.
her. Marcel?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Bass?
Yes.
I started on upside down here.
Two individuals have requested to resign from the board, Ms. Karen Groom and Ms. Christine Young. So for a motion.
Motion to accept.
Second.
Do a call. I like
Bass?
roll calls.
Yes.
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Martin?
Yes.
Marcel?
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I got one more. Jimmy and Debbie provided information that Ryan Miser has expressed interest in joining the park board. I was looking for a motion to have Ryan join the park board. I'll motion.
Well, sorry, point of order. It's the mayor's appointment. You can't make that motion, the only person can,
At the fair board, then I'll make that appointment right now, okay?
now you have to have a motion, but now you ask for the board approval.
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we.
No, you don't have to make a motion, you make the appointment. They get to approve it or deny it. It's not a motion, but nobody can second yours. You just say,
I'll just accept it.
I'm making the appointment, and then you ask for the board to either approve it or deny it.
That's my motion right there. You just say- Thank you. All right, I want to appoint Ryan Meyer.
I'll motion.
I did your.
I'll second.
All right,
To approve, right?
Approve the appointment of Ryan Meyer.
We got a motion to approve, and a second.
I do have their name, but I don't have it on me. It's, I'll appoint another one.
Well, hold on,
Let's do this.
do them one at a time, do them one at a time.
I don't have a paper on me. What's the name of that?
Matter, we're gonna do a roll call. Marcel?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Martin?
Yes.
Hudson?
Yes.
Howard?
Yes.
Bass?
Yes.
And that appointment is made, now you can do a second.
All right, do you want me to wait until after my time, or you want to go ahead and?
No, you can do it right now.
Is Jordan Beaton?
Okay, I make a motion for, I know it's Miss Eaton, but what's her first name?
Jordan.
Jordan. Yeah, that's my motion.
No, you appoint.
I'm
Is there a
appointing, yeah.
motion to approve the appointment?
Do we have to have a roll call?
Not
First,
yet.
you need a motion to approve the appointment.
All right, I have a motion for that.
Jordan Bateman, is who it
Who?
is. Jordan Bateman.
I said it wrong, okay.
Well, you said one thing, you said Eaton,
I thought you said
so I'm
Eaton.
like, no, it's Jordan.
I don't know, it's just somebody who does the motion.
Okay, we gotta have a motion, right?
I'll make a motion to accept that.
There's a motion to approve, is there a
To
second?
approve.
To that?
Second.
Second.
Right. It's approved, second,
Yep, motion and second, now you can do a motion, you can do roll call, or you can, whatever.
roll call.
Bass,
Yes.
Hubbard, Hudson,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Hartzell.
Yes.
That it, Tony?
I think that's it. Unless you have anything else?
All right, we're gonna move on then. More bad. Police chief report.
All right, just a couple things. My nuisance that Cameron's been working on. I know I wasn't here last week, our last meeting. 205 with Wildcat Pride, he's working on that. They got it mowed, 706, 708 on South Main Street. They got theirs mowed, they're working on. 310, or 3010 Chestnut, they got theirs taken care of. 3014 Sycamore, letter's been sent to get their grass mowed. 507 Bond, they're making progress on getting the lawn mowed. 201 East Spencer, he's making contact with them to get their lawn mowed and trash removed from the area. 203 Spencer, same thing. 905 School, the letter's being sent out for an unlicensed vehicle. 140 Roots is making contact to get that mowed as well. And 604 Vance, they have several violations that he's working on right now, and none of those are in the new ones that were turned in. So I'll get those turned over to him and get working on those. So that's all on nuisance. The other thing I have, myself, it's been a while back, and I kind of missed the meeting and had forgotten. The police committee and I met on some no parking on West Washington and Trees for no parking from here at the corner, and no parking between signs on the west side of Green Street. And I'd like to get the board's approval to go ahead and have that for those items, so our street parking signs up.
We got a motion for that?
Motion to approve.
Second?
Second.
Do roll call, I like roll calls.
Hartzell,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Hubbard,
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
Anything else, Deb?
Yeah, one more thing, with animal control, we had one of our animal control assistants, turn in a resignation. I believe Lenny has a copy of the original one. Our last day will be on June 7th. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and, let Missy put an ad in the paper, to, hire another one.
Motion to accept the resignation and fill out for application.
Got a motion, now second for resignation.
Can you do both of them in one?
You do that in one? Okay.
So, based on the going out for new applications, our policy says they have to run in the paper for 2 weeks, is that right?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Do we have a policy on being able to post that on Facebook? Because apparently we get a lot more response that way. Not that we're going to ignore the newspaper, but can that simultaneously be posted on Facebook?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, I
That-
should
that's
upload
literally up to
it
you guys.
tomorrow or tonight. But the 2 weeks is kind of hard, you know, for the
Take as
newspaper.
long as you want.
Well, I mean, it's just kind of hard to,
The timing.
because it missed this week,
Yeah.
and they're not gonna go until the next week, and then for 2 weeks.
It takes
I
longer to get someone hired. We run into hiring
Yeah.
officers. It
Yeah.
just takes longer to be able to get
I
somebody.
was just hoping
And
they
they
could
give them
even
2 week
amend that.
notice.
Not
Give
for
them
me
2 week
now, but,
Notice, it usually takes 4 weeks to get somebody
Yeah.
hired in there, so.
We'll work on that policy at another time, but. Oh, you're ready to go. We have questions.
Yeah, well, you got a motion.
You think 2 weeks running in the paper is enough?
Yeah, the social, like that, saying social media does, newspaper does.
I put on Facebook, I'll give it to my name tomorrow.
Yeah, we got a person saying.
Everybody make a motion?
Already did.
Second?
We're ready to go.
Anything roll call?
Baus,
Yes.
Albert,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Marcel.
Yes.
Right. Anything else up?
Go ahead.
Anybody got anything for them?
I do. I got a message from somebody, I don't really know them, but, telling me that they were almost hit twice at red lights here in town, once by semi and once by a pickup truck. And they said, I understand the police cannot be there at all times. They were asking about traffic cameras. So I don't know the plausibility of doing that. I don't know how.
All those traffic lights are on MoDOT, so it's impossible, probably impossible for us to put any cameras of any kind on there.
Okay. I will respond.
So, I'm trying to work with MoDOT, and it's like a brick wall thing. I would like to get a better crosswalk on 19, somewhere between the current one we have at Dollar General and closer towards the north part of town, because that's the busiest part of the district, and there's no safe passage across that highway. If you're elderly or handicapped, you don't stand a prayer to get across that highway. I have reached out to a guy named Preston Kramer, and he referred me to a Jeffrey Griggs, which that guy does not answer emails or phone calls. I don't know if there's any support you can try to.
See what we can look up. See if we can find
I've been trying for 9 years to do that. They'll look into it,
Yeah.
whatever happens.
Well, what Preston's saying is that the financial side does fall on the city, but you have to get everything through permit, through MoDOT. So,
You ever seen the signs down in, Potosi? They got those signs out, fluorescent signs. You would see, do something like that, so the police officer there watching, writing tickets, and then somebody, they start working.
yeah.
Ben, you wanna say something?
Did anybody call you? I got a hold of a guy's name on my desk, I can't think of off the top of my head. But I told him to give you a call, I called him from MoDOT.
Like I said, the only one I've reached via email is at Preston Kramer out of Raw office, but that Jeffrey Griggs, I guess, is our area.
Yeah, there's a guy that should be, and that may have been his name, should be calling you, I got a hold of him,
Okay.
gave you your information, he's their engineer for that type of
Yeah,
stuff.
traffic engineer.
He was in my opportunities in Lake the Ozarks watching traffic, and, he said he probably would give you a call by yesterday, but I heard it didn't happen.
Okay, I appreciate it.
That's it? All right, moving on. Bill number 238. Lance, can you please read that, caption only?
You need a motion first.
Motion to.
Motion to have first reading.
Motion to read it.
Second.
All in favor? Against?
An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into a non-terminal agency agreement with Crawford 911 for the use of mules and NCIC access.
Motion to approve the first reading.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Now do the roll call. Roll call.
Marcel,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Albert,
Yes.
Baus.
Yes.
Next, we read the bill a second time for motion approval.
I'll
Read.
make a motion.
Oh, I gotta make a hold, I'm wrong. Make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right. Thanks, PD.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That was for him to say, but. An ordinance authorizing the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri, on behalf of said city, to enter into a non-terminal agency agreement with Crawford 911 for use of mules and NCIC access.
All right, let's see if we get this right. First, to approve the second reading. Second roll call vote. On the 21st day of May 21st. Bill number 2.
We're not.
All right, I'm not there. See, I told you, let's see if I got it right.
Eric's got a motion, I'll second it.
All right, do roll call.
Baus,
Yes.
Albert,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Marcel.
Yes.
All right, good? I can take it first. On this day, 21st, May bill number 2138, Bus Cards, number 909. Okay, reading of bill number 2139.
Motion to.
Make a motion. Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thanks.
A resolution to authorize the mayor of the city of Cuba, Missouri to execute all documents necessary to transfer the title of 1936 fire truck to the Cuba Community Fire Protection District.
Have a motion, would I have a second motion? Have a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second. Real roll call.
Hurtsell,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Howard,
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
That's the second motion, wasn't it?
Motion for second reading.
You don't need it, it's a resolution.
We only have one.
That's all
We
right.
only have one.
All right, on the day, 21st day of May, the bill number 2139, and resolution number 5. Old and finished business. We'll talk to you, Joyce.
I don't have any.
Dave? Nothing?
I have to cross the already talked about it.
Harold? Yeah.
We did the thing on the fire department. We're gonna need you to reach out to the fire department, the chief, and try to get an easement for the gun range.
I'll reach out.
Let Doug was reaching, or somebody was reaching out.
I haven't heard anything.
I have not heard anything.
Reached out about your easement.
No, I didn't know I was supposed to.
Yeah, I don't know. Who's supposed to do that, Lance? The mayor or the chief of police?
Whoever you guys assign.
Not me. To get you, otherwise you're gonna be landlocked.
You done, Jeff?
That's all I needed.
All right.
You want to say, can I say something real quick? Kevin? You guys at previous meetings discussed, the treatment plant position and, you know, what we needed to do with it. We want to do it properly with job posting and all that stuff. We said we would do that after we got a job description and figured out where it's gonna be on the salary schedule. Have we discussed a date of which to do that? Because it's supposed to take effect July 1st. We're running out of time, so we still have to post it internally if it's discussed for anybody to sign. And if more than one person signs it, then we're gonna have committee meetings and stuff to decide who's gonna get that job. So we're running out of time before July 1st.
But we just approved those.
We just approved
Yeah.
it.
Right.
So when
Couldn't be
we
done
approved the
until-
bus,
I'll make the motion to post it and go out.
I think you still have to approve the job description, though.
Yeah.
The committee has to approve the job description first before, you know.
Did everybody get the job description?
We all
There
have.
is one, the committee just needs to review it and make a decision.
You wanna make a motion to approve job description?
I read the job description.
I don't know if they read it yet or not, though.
This is, is there, maybe brings it to us or we do it ourselves?
I mean, it's my understanding it was gonna go to the committee. Committee will discuss and make recommendations.
Which committee?
Well, why don't we just table this?
What committee should it be, what committee exists that,
Water sewer.
is there a sewer committee?
I think it's normally fall under water and sewer.
Water, sir.
So who's on water and sewer committee? You guys figure out a time to meet, post it, have a meeting, approve the job description.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
No,
Okay. Right, anything else?
I do. The hay bids that we went out for, apparently there's been some question, and we need clarification as to how they should bid it. Like per hay bale, per field, per acre. I'm not a farmer, I have no idea.
I would suggest that you have Laney contact the city of Raleigh. The city of Raleigh goes out for hay bids periodically. My suggestion is that, it's my recollection that they do it by acre. But probably can get the exact wording and we can probably tailor something directly from there.
And you use the term lease for hay rights. And that's good, that we need to find out how it's done properly, but in the meantime, we read in the paper last week, it's probably gonna be in the paper this week. I think we probably need to pull it from the paper for the following week. Do I need a motion to?
We can put on Facebook too that we're going to add clarification to it.
Can we make it one? Because you gotta separate it now.
They requested we did it per property.
Somebody wanted it separated.
So you want to separate it, so you want 3 different gates. For 3 different properties.
How
That's
many
not.
locations is there, Jerry?
3.
3 locations?
So it went out saying, one for the airport, one for the treatment plant, and one for Barnett.
You got the fields over by Malali's too. That.
They don't know where they're,
I don't,
Ray used to let, a guy mow it for the hay.
I've never, I thought it was Tommy.
Tommy,
We're in the.
right there, that field, the city owns. So, yeah, we
That's
got,
the only 3 that.
yes.
You want 3 separate, or we want that one person for the whole place? I don't know.
One person may not want it all though.
I don't know how many acres we're talking about.
Probably
About
130.
130.
There's two pieces of property with 25 and one with 80.
I would say the 2 small ones you might do together, but I would do 2 separate agreements for the one.
Do the airport by itself, and then.
Yeah, that's the 80 acres. 80 acres.
It's the airport, and then 50.
It's a pretty good size field, so I would do that separately.
I don't know, it's up to you, it's why are you gonna do it?
So, how we gonna do it? Gonna leave it like this? 'Cause I think 2 people's cutting it right now, ain't that 2 different ones? So we can leave it on 1, leave it 2, 3, whatever y'all think.
There was one person doing it the whole time, and then in the last 2 years, we had in another field, that one person did. For the last 15 years, it's been the same person doing it in 2 places.
You probably get more bids if you separate them out.
Yeah, and we've already bumped it that way once, so we might as well separate them through.
Separate them out.
So leave that and then I'll find out how to advertise the hay rights.
You're figuring how many acres.
Or 80, 45, 45.
Do we need a motion to allow, when she finds out, to go ahead and
Yes.
do that? Okay, so I make a motion that after Lainey researches this from the city of Rolla, that she post appropriate.
What?
Repost for bids
Yes.
I'll second.
with clarification. Repost for bids with clarification.
Bass.
Yes.
Howard.
Yes.
Hudson.
yes.
Martin.
Yes.
Hartzell.
Yes.
Well, I have one more. We were approached by the library district asking if we would donate a few full casts for the summer reading program again. We have done this every year.
Okay.
Normally they ask for two individual passes.
Motion to do that.
Second motion?
Are we doing 1 or 2?
2.
2 individual full passes? Second?
I think we should do more.
They only asked for 1. I just know the cast we've always done 2. So, alright, motion made Val, second by who? You, okay. Roll call, Hartzell,
Yes.
Martin,
Yes.
Hudson,
Yes.
Albert,
Yes.
Bass.
Yes.
Alright, the last thing you done is adjournment. Take a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Uh,